Investing, is it right for me? Man, I don't want to be a landlord. How do I know something's a good buy? Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Angela Dillmon, here at the St. Louis Home Chat at the Dillmon Group at Keller Williams Chesterfield, the #1 selling office in St. Louis. Joining me today is our buyer specialist and investing specialist, Josh Gullidge. We're going to talk today and add some value to your life by talking about real estate investing. So, Josh, if I am thinking about investing in real estate, what is like the first question that you're going to ask me about it?
Angela, my first question to you would be, what are your goals out of acquiring a property? So why do you want to invest? Is it a short-term game where you want immediate money, or is it a long-term game where you want to put a kid through college? So what are you actually looking to accomplish by investing in real estate?
Well, I guess at my age, I'm thinking about passive income, but maybe a younger person would be thinking about maybe putting their kids through college. And then you've got people who maybe, I want some immediate income right now. So you're telling me that the goal that I have in investing might drive what type of property I'm going to buy?
Absolutely. So once you figure out what goal you are looking to accomplish by investing in real estate, we have books like The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. They have forms and business models on what you want to purchase. Most of the time, the biggest mistake young investors make on their first property is they hear of a friend that has a good deal on a property, and their first thing is they're like, I'm going to go buy that property, and they have no experience, they don't have a game plan, they realize it's in over their head, and a lot of times they end up losing money because they end up having to sell it.
Right, I've seen it many, many times, the big mistakes of first-time investing. So you really do need a goal, an end game that drives what you do, and then you need a business plan. So Josh, let's talk about a business plan. What would a business plan look like when it comes to real estate investing?
So again, if you're looking for, immediate money, you're looking on how much cash do I have to put in and how much cash I'm getting out every year or every month. And you want to take into account any repairs. Are you a handy person? Do you want to put your money in and step back and literally not touch anything? And you can hire property managers to do all that for you.
Okay, so how much I want to be involved as part of my business plan? Does location come into my business plan?
Absolutely. So if you were looking for a long-term game like putting your kids through college, my personal plan would be to buy a property in West County, Baldwin, Fenton, something that is highly desired, and you're probably going to pay a little bit more on the front end. You can't buy a property for 50 grand there, but in the long term, it's going to appreciate like crazy. So a property you could pick up today for $175,000 might be worth $225,000, $250,000 15 years from now.
Right, and also they rent really great because if you're in a great area, your rental pool.
You've got great schools
rentals
down there, Parkway South, Rockwood Summit, and people that want to rent there with their kids.
You're going to draw better. So location, what else is in my business plan is whether I want a single family, whether I want a multi-family, what else other kind of things are in there?
Yeah, single family, multi-family, how many bedrooms, bathrooms. Again, location is huge. And then it obviously comes down to your cap rate and your cash on cash. So, you would not put your money in an IRA for a low percentage. Like you wouldn't put money in an IRA for 5%.
Right, so now we're talking about some formulas that we could use. And I know that in a business plan, the condition of the property also. So let's talk about how does condition of a property relate to a business plan? Yeah,
so if you know that you're going to be repairing roofs and ACs and everything right off the bat, you're really hitting your pocketbook hard. And again, that's these good deals. I've seen investors buy great deals that they don't need any work. You just buy the property, rent it out, and you've got a good property making you money. Because again, if you buy one that's really distressed and you have to put a new roof, a new furnace, and AC on it, you realize really quickly you didn't make any money your first year. In fact, you probably lost money.
But you're probably going to make it up on your appreciation. So I know investors who only buy houses that need to be totally gutted or seriously remodeled because they can buy them super cheap, they've got the cash to fix them up, and there are loans for fixing up. We can talk about that as well. There's loans for that. But then when you put your sweat equity into it, then boom, you've got appreciation going. And maybe you've got less cash in it overall, less amount of cash, but maybe more cash out of your pocket. Where I know other investors who just buy them and they're just in great condition, they move right in. And then there's, hey, I just need a little bit of cosmetic work, paint, carpet.
Yeah,
maybe I need carpet, maybe I need go in and paint the kitchen cabinets, put those handles on them, throw some new counters on there, do a little bit of flooring, and voila, I've got a great investment, something somebody's going to rent. So after I figure out my business plan, where, what kind of condition, and I know what my end game is, then how do I know something's a good deal? How am I going to vet this deal? What am I going to use?
So as far as like, again, we go back to the formulas on how much money you're putting in, but then that's where an experience of a really good real estate team comes into play, because I can show you what other similar properties have sold for, how that neighborhood appreciates, because again, if you're looking for an appreciation model, you want to know not just the area, how that subdivision compares, because one subdivision might not appreciate well and one might. So
so if I want to put my kids through college, appreciation might be really part of this game. And my tenant's paying down my loan, so if I've got 15 years to go, I bet I could get that house paid off, and then all that rental income is passive income to me I can use to either pay the college tuition with, or how else could I get money out of that rental home?
Yeah, so if you paid off the property or had equity built up in it, which is the goal, you could do a cash out refinance, take that money and pay for the college. Or if you had 15, 20 years and you paid that property off, now you can just use the rental income every month to pay for the college.
Right, so if I do a cash out,
you don't have to sell to get the money.
You don't have to sell to get the money out. So if I do a cash out refinance, by the way, that's tax-free money.
It is tax-free.
There's no tax on, there's no capital gains, there's nothing. I've not sold the property. So there's ways to really leverage that property to do what you want to do. Maybe you want to pull the money out and build a dream home with it.
Absolutely.
Right? Maybe you want to use it for some, maybe that second place at the lake. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, so these formulas that we're using, what are they going to tell me? What kind of results am I going to get out of a formula? So let's say I'm going to put my money in the stock market, and I go talk to my financial guy, and he says, hey, I think I can get you a rate of return over the long term of about 10%. If you stay in the market a long time, this is what you're going to get. Can I get better than that on real estate, and how do I figure that out if that property will give me 10% or better?
Absolutely. So again, you put your money in an IRA, and depending on how risky you want to be with them, they're going to suggest anywhere between an 8 and a 12% rate of return, and they're going to say that's pretty good, especially for long term. But in housing, you're also taking on more risk, and you have got to, repairs and stuff. And we can make it super simple on you, and you can hire a property manager to take care of all that for you. But you're really looking for, especially down in the city, in further away areas, you're looking for at least 25%, mid-20s.
Wow, so you can get quite a rate of return, and that's really calculated by how much money you're putting into the property, or down, when your down payment, and maybe even initial fix-up cost. And then what else does it help me calculate, figure out? What other kind of numbers do I need to plug into these formulas?
So again, you plug into account any insurance and taxes.
Okay.
And that makes a big difference, because the taxes are super high in one subdivision and not in the other, but they appreciate the same. That's just extra money you're paying.
Right.
So insurance as well. Again, putting on a new roof or some of that initial cost can drop your insurance every month. So again, it all comes down to how much money is somebody renting it for, and how much are you actually putting in.
And you want to be careful when you're estimating the income. So if you see a distressed property and you think, oh, it's only renting for $650 or $850 now, but if I fix it up, I could get $1,000 or $1,200. Please be careful and cautious on when you're figuring your formulas, that you're not reaching too high on estimating what you're going to get. Be more realistic about it, and if it's a good deal when you're being realistic, it's going to be a great deal if it turns out better. So don't be the eternal optimist when you're doing your numbers. I'm also going to want to know what the utility costs are for the common areas. If I have to take care of the lawn, or the tenant takes care of the lawn. A lot of times on single families, you can get the tenants to pay everything: the water, the sewer, cut the grass, shovel the snow. On multifamilies, maybe you might get one tenant who's willing to cut that grass for just a little bit off a month.
Or switch it, do one month, and you take $50 off, $20 off, and let them mow the lawn themselves.
Share it. There you go. So the cost of actually carrying the property, what you need to be responsible for, a tenant needs to be responsible for, is a big deal. So I guess I want to have an inspection on this home and figure out what my liabilities are as well.
Yep, and you want to have an inspection to make sure, again, what you're buying is actually a safe investment. Because, again, if you're, you want to be really realistic with your numbers, and all of a sudden a repair might flip those numbers on you, and what was a great deal is not a great deal.
Not so much. So it's important to know your numbers. It's important to know what questions to ask. It's important to have the right formula so that you can understand the return on your investment, and is it a good deal, and does it help you achieve your goals. So there's a couple of things that we can suggest for you to do. One is get the Millionaire Real Estate Investor book, start reading it. And the second thing is come up to our monthly investment club meeting. It's the first Tuesday every month. What time is that meeting?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock right here at our office in Chesterfield. Last month we had in a expert on self-directed IRAs. You can use your IRA to take some money to invest in real estate, and do that instead of just putting into stocks. Try to diversify your portfolio a little bit. So give us a call here at the Dillmon Group at 314-277-7713. We'll put our investing expert advice to work for you. Thanks for joining us today here at the Dillmon Group, where we help you live your dream lifestyle, build wealth, and leave legacies that matter. We'll see you next week.